Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. You look around, and it feels like we're just drowning in promises about productivity, right?
Totally. Every single week
Yeah,
almost.
a new app, some new gadget, a service pops up,
Yeah.
and they're all selling the same thing. Streamline your work, save time, make you, this productivity machine.
Superstar employee. Yeah.
Exactly. And often the recommendations, they come from tech experts, right? People who are supposedly like living on the cutting edge.
Mm-hmm. They've seen it all, tried it all.
They have their lists, their must-have tools, and it creates this pressure. Like if you're not using their list, you're already falling behind,
Oh, absolutely. That feeling is real. Like the secret to being super efficient is just one download away or one subscription click.
which really makes you step back and ask,
Mm.
okay, we have this constant stream of tools. We have these glowing reviews from the pros,
Yeah.
but do they actually deliver?
Yeah.
Or, and this is a really interesting part from some of our sources, could they, maybe, sometimes, actually make things worse, make us less productive?
It sounds counterintuitive, but yeah, the sources we looked at really dive into that paradox.
It's fascinating because they show both sides so clearly. You've got the tech folks saying, these tools are amazing, they changed my life.
Right, highlighting all that potential.
And then you have this other analysis pointing out, hold on, here's how that potential often gets, well, kind of wasted.
Yeah, the pitfalls.
So that's our mission for this deep dive. We want to pull apart these sources, the expert recommendations, the critical takes, and find the nuggets of wisdom.
Okay.
We need to see what tools the experts love, sure, but more importantly, why? What makes a tool genuinely useful in their eyes?
And then flip it.
And then flip it, yeah.
Yeah.
Understand why these tools sometimes don't live up to the hype, why they fail, and crucially, pull out the practical advice on how you can actually use tech to get that productivity boost.
Makes sense. So let's start with that first angle, the expert's toolkit. What are these tech pros actually using, and why do they find them indispensable?
Our source here gives a good window into that. It's not just a list. It gets into the reasons.
And that's key, right? The why. They're not just chasing shiny objects.
No, they're picking things that solve genuine problems they face day to day.
So looking across different categories like project management, task stuff, what stands out there?
Well, the source highlights tools designed for managing complex work, obviously. But the interesting part isn't just naming tools like, say, ClickUp or Jira.
Right.
It's what features they value. Things like being able to customize workflows, connect with other apps easily, automate boring tasks.
Yeah, the integration piece.
Yeah, and pulling everything together, tasks, collaboration, even time tracking into one spot. That's what makes something like a ClickUp or Notion feel essential, apparently. Reduces the chaos.
Less context switching, less manual copying and pasting. Gotcha.
Exactly. And it's not just managing projects. It's also about how teams talk to each other. Communication tools are vital.
Beyond just email, I assume.
Well, yeah, the experts pointed to things that really cut down on confusion. Like, instead of a massive email chain, maybe using Loom to quickly record your screen and explain something visually.
Ah, yeah, I can see how that saves time or misinterpretation.
Totally. Or using Slack for that quick back and forth, keeping conversations organized and searchable. Miro was another one mentioned that virtual whiteboard thing.
Mm-hmm. For brainstorming.
Right. Making complex ideas visual, easier to grasp than just text. The common thread seems to be tools that boost clarity and speed up communication.
Makes sense. What about just like keeping track of your own stuff, notes, ideas?
Yeah, that came up too. Experts need systems not just for basic notes, but for capturing ideas on the fly, tracking meeting points, keeping info secure, but also easy to access everywhere.
Or like across your phone and laptop?
Exactly. Day One was mentioned as an example, a sort of reliable digital notebook for everything.
Okay. And I guess AI has to be in the mix now.
Oh, for sure. The source mentioned tools like ChatGPT or Otter.ai, but not just as cool tech. They're using them for specific, time-sucking tasks,
Like what?
like getting summaries of long reports, drafting initial emails or code snippets, automatically transcribing meetings with Otter, basically offloading the grunt work that doesn't need, unique human creativity.
Right, freeing up brain space for important stuff.
Precisely. And then you see more niche tools, too, like Superhuman, which is apparently laser-focused on making email super fast,
Just for email triage, yeah.
or GitHub for tech teams managing code and roadmaps. The pattern is finding tools that give a really specific, significant boost, often through integration, automation, or just making things clearer.
So that first source paints a pretty rosy picture, doesn't it? Powerful tools chosen by smart people delivering real benefits. Time saved, better communication, less busy work. Optimistic.
Very optimistic.
Yeah.
But And here comes the but. Our other sources throw a bit of cold water on that. They introduce this paradox.
Yes.
Sometimes these very tools can actually slow you down.
Right. This is the twist. How does something designed for efficiency end up doing the opposite?
The sources really dig into this, and often it's less about the tool itself and more about how it gets rolled out and used within a team or company.
Okay, like the implementation matters more than the feature list.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One huge reason mentioned is just a lack of decent training.
Ah.
The source had this great analogy like being thrown into the pool to learn to swim. You get the tool, maybe a quick demo if you're lucky.
When them good luck. Figure it out yourself.
Yeah. You're left to somehow weave it into your daily work, probably not understanding half of what it can do, or worse, using it in a way that actually creates more work.
That makes total sense. You have this powerful thing, but you only know how to use like 10% of it.
Bye-bye.
And the sources also mentions it's not just no training, but inconsistent training.
Right. That's another big one. Maybe one department gets a deep dive, another gets nothing. So people just make up their own ways of using it.
Which leads to chaos.
Complete chaos.
Hmm.
Instead of standardizing things and making collaboration smoother, which is often the goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
You end up with everyone using the tool differently. It fragments everything, causes confusion, basically undermines the whole point.
Like everyone bought the same dictionary but decided to pronounce words differently. Okay, what else?
Another critical problem the sources flagged: lack of integration. The new tool doesn't play nicely with the tech you already use.
Oh, that's a big one. I felt that pain.
Right. So you're constantly having to jump between apps, maybe copy-pasting data manually, doing things twice.
It breaks your focus, adds extra steps. It's the opposite of efficient.
Totally. And it's so frustrating that, according to the sources, people might just stop using the new tool altogether. They just give up on it.
Which means the company wasted money.
Exactly. That's one consequence. The business invests in this tool hoping for efficiency gains, but they don't materialize. So money down the drain, and the company isn't running as smoothly as it could.
And what about the employees? Besides being frustrated.
Well, that frustration is key. They feel unsupported, like this tool is just another burden, can lead to people checking out, feeling disengaged. And, the source points out, it can push people towards creating their own workarounds, using maybe unapproved tools, that whole shadow IT thing.
Which creates security risks and makes the fragmentation even worse.
Precisely.
Yep.
So you circle back to that first source. The potential is definitely there. These tools can be powerful. But this paradox shows that just buying the tool isn't enough. Not even close.
It all hinges on getting that implementation right, avoiding those pitfalls.
Which brings us to the crucial next question.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you avoid the paradox? How do you make these tools actually boost productivity?
Yeah, the practical side. The sources do offer some advice here. They acknowledge that bringing in new tech is a big deal, and honestly, the sheer number of options is overwhelming. Making an informed choice is tough.
So what's the key recommendation they offer for navigating this? For avoiding those traps like poor training or bad integration?
The main suggestion that comes through strongly is working with, like, an IT advisor or a technology partner.
Okay, bringing in outside help. Why is that so valuable?
Well, the source highlights a few things. First, they can help you cut through all the marketing hype and actually figure out what tool fits your specific needs. Not just what's popular, but what gives your business an edge.
Right. Tailoring the choice instead of just grabbing the flavor of the month.
Exactly. And second, they bring the technical know-how to figure out the integration piece. How will this new tool connect with everything you already use?
Directly tackling that big frustration point we talked about.
Yes. They can spot potential problems before you commit and help plan for a smoother rollout. They understand the tech landscape, how things fit together.
And presumably they help with the training aspect too.
That's maybe the most critical part the source emphasizes. A good partner ensures that proper support and training happen, making sure everyone who needs to use the tool gets skilled and comfortable with it.
Not just thrown in the pool.
Exactly. It's about managing the human side of adopting new technology, which often gets overlooked.
So it's really a package deal. Strategic selection based on your needs, careful planning for integration, and a solid commitment to training and ongoing support for the actual users.
That seems to be the formula the sources point to. When you take that kind of comprehensive approach, then you get the payoff. Engaged employees who know how to use the tools well, leading to that genuine productivity boost the experts talked about initially.
You actually realize the potential because you've actively removed the barriers.
Precisely. The paradox isn't inevitable. It's usually a result of cutting corners on the implementation.
Okay, so bringing this all together for you, the listener, what's the big picture here? We've seen this clear tension. On one hand, incredibly powerful productivity tools exist. Experts swear by them. They achieve amazing things.
Huge potential.
Huge potential. But on the other hand, just grabbing a tool doesn't guarantee success. How it's introduced, how people are trained, how it fits with existing systems, it's everything. Those factors can easily turn a potential boost into an actual drag on productivity.
Yeah, the core message from these sources isn't just buy good tools, it's much more nuanced. It's about the process. Smart selection, tailored to you, seamless integration, and crucially, investing in the people using it through training and support.
It really is the difference, like you said, between just owning a fancy guitar and actually knowing how to play it, making music with it.
Well put, it's the skill and the integration, not just the object itself.
So maybe a final thought for you to consider. Think about the tools you rely on every day, or maybe tools you're considering bringing into your workflow.
Mm-hmm.
Based on everything we've just unpacked, are they truly woven into how you work? Do you feel fully equipped, trained, supported in using them? Or could there be some friction? Could they, maybe in small ways you haven't quite noticed, be part of that productivity paradox, actually holding you back a little?
It's definitely worth reflecting on. Are your tools truly serving you, or are you perhaps spending too much energy just serving the tools?